Embarrassment is the illusion of an audience in your mind. How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something because you were afraid of looking stupid? How many moments have you held back because you thought people were watching and judging you? We've all been there. That moment of hesitation, fear of being laughed at, criticised, or looked at differently. But here's the truth. Most people aren't thinking about you at all. Embarrassment isn't real. It's just the illusion of an audience inside your head. Today we're going to break that illusion so you can stop holding yourself back. Embarrassment feels like a spotlight. The moment you mess up, your brain tells you that everyone sees it, everyone cares, and everyone will remember. But in reality, most people don't even notice. And if they do, they forget almost instantly. So why does embarrassment feel so real? Your brain exaggerates attention. Your mind is wired to make you think that you are the center of attention. You assume people are constantly watching, analyzing, and judging you. In reality, most people are too focused on themselves to care about what you're doing. We are taught to fear judgment. Since childhood, we've been told to avoid embarrassment. Don't mess up, don't say the wrong thing, don't stand out too much. Society conditions us to believe that making mistakes is shameful instead of normal. Over time, this creates a fear of looking foolish that stops us from taking risks. We replay our mistakes more than others do. You might still cringe about something awkward you did years ago, but the people who witnessed it, they don't even remember. Your mind holds on to embarrassment longer than anyone else ever will. And the truth? Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to worry about you. Living in a constant state of embarrassment can trap you in a small, confined life. When you let the fear of looking foolish control your actions, you miss out on valuable opportunities and personal growth. Here's why living in embarrassment is dangerous. You limit your experiences. When you're always worried about what others might think, you hold back from trying new things. You may avoid speaking up, sharing your ideas, or taking risks that could lead to success. By staying in your safe zone, you miss the chance to learn, grow, and discover your true potential. You create a negative self-image. Constant embarrassment makes you focus on your mistakes rather than your strengths. Over time, you start to believe that you are always falling short, which lowers your self-esteem. This negative self-image makes it harder for you to see your real worth and can even affect your relationships. You let fear dictate your decisions. When fear of embarrassment rules your life, you make decisions based on avoiding risk rather than on what could truly make you happy. Instead of chasing dreams, you choose the familiar, even if it's not fulfilling, because it feels safer. This fear-driven decision-making keeps you stuck in a cycle of regret, wondering what might have been if you had dared to try. You miss the chance to learn from failure. Embarrassment can prevent you from embracing mistakes as part of the learning process. Each failure offers a lesson that brings you closer to success, but only if you allow yourself to experience it. Living in embarrassment means you avoid these lessons, and you may never develop the resilience needed to overcome challenges. It is a barrier to building meaningful relationships. Constant worry about being judged can make you distant or closed off from others. You might not share your true self, which stops others from knowing and supporting you. The isolation prevents you from forming strong, genuine connections that can help you grow and succeed. When you let fear of embarrassment hold you back, you also hold back your growth. But there are simple ways to break free from that fear and live more fully. Remind yourself that most people don't notice. Understand that most people are busy with their own lives. They rarely focus on your small mistakes. Practice telling yourself, they aren't watching me as closely as I think. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness when you make mistakes. Instead of harsh self-criticism, say, it's okay to mess up. I'm learning. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes and that they help you grow. Embrace small risks. Start by trying things that make you a little uncomfortable. Speak up in a meeting or share your idea, even if you feel nervous. Each small risk you take builds your confidence over time. Change your inner dialogue. Replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations. When you think, I'm going to look stupid, counter with, I'm brave for trying. Practice this change daily until it becomes natural. Focus on the outcome, not the moment. Think about how much you can gain by putting yourself out there. Visualize the benefits of your success rather than the fear of a mistake. Remind yourself that every great success comes from facing challenges head on. Seek support from positive people. Surround yourself with friends or mentors who encourage you. Share your fears with someone you trust. They may show you that your worries are unfounded. Positive support can help you see that your fear is much smaller than it feels. Reflect on past successes. Think back to times when you did something brave, even if you were embarrassed. Remember how you felt afterward, often proud and relieved. Let those memories remind you that you can overcome embarrassment again. Take action even when you're scared. Fear will always be there. The trick is to act despite it. Every step you take builds your resilience and shows you that embarrassment isn't a barrier, it's a part of learning. Remind yourself that the pain of a brief, awkward moment is far less than the regret of never trying. Most people spend their lives avoiding embarrassment. They see it as something shameful, something to run from. But what if embarrassment wasn't a sign of failure, but a sign of growth? Think about it. If you're never embarrassed, it means you're never stepping outside your comfort zone. If you never risk looking awkward, it means you're not trying anything new. If you never make mistakes, it means you're not pushing yourself to improve. Every time you feel embarrassed, it's because you're doing something unfamiliar, uncomfortable, or challenging. And guess what? That's exactly what growth requires. Every skill requires an awkward phase. Nobody starts off being great at something. The first time you speak a new language, you'll mispronounce words. The first time you go to the gym, you might not know how to use the equipment. The first time you try public speaking, your voice might shake. That awkward phase isn't proof that you should quit, it's proof that you're learning. Every expert was once a beginner who was willing to look a little silly before they got good. Embarrassment means you're taking action. People who never feel embarrassed, they're usually the ones sitting on the sidelines. They don't try. They don't risk failure. They stay in the safe zone, never stepping forward. But if you're feeling embarrassed, it means you're in the game. You're trying, experimenting, learning, and growing. And that is something to be proud of. What feels embarrassing now won't matter later. Think about something that embarrassed you 5 years ago. Do you still cringe at it? Maybe. But does it still affect your life? Not at all. The same is true for today's embarrassing moments. That awkward speech, you'll forget it in a year. That mistake at work, nobody will remember in a few weeks. That time you tripped in public, you might laugh about it later. The faster you move on, the faster everyone else does too. The people who succeed are the ones who push through embarrassment. Every successful person has been embarrassed at some point. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was publicly fired from her first TV show. J.K. Rowling was living in a homeless shelter before she made the Harry Potter series. Because the truth is, embarrassment is only temporary. But the success that comes from pushing through, that lasts forever. So here's the truth. Most people aren't watching you as closely as you think. The fear of judgment is usually worse than the judgment itself. The only person keeping track of your embarrassing moments is you. So why waste another second holding on to it? Say what you want to say. Try what you want to try. Put yourself out there, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because the only people who never feel embarrassed are the ones who never take risks. But the people who achieve real success, they understand that looking foolish is just part of the journey. So let go of the illusion. The audience in your mind isn't real. And even if it was, who cares? Because the moment you stop letting embarrassment control you, you unlock a level of confidence that most people will never experience. And that's real freedom.